I want to salute my colleague senators who were pilloried and abused in this chamber in the most vulgar and personal way by our colleagues on the other side. For doing what? For standing for the rights of the people and standing up for the Constitution of this country. You should all be ashamed here today. You should be ashamed here today.
He came unto his own, and his own received him not. Jah Rastafari.
Major Dawes presents to you Heart of the World. This prolific album is both inspiring and uplifting. It captures the pain and joy of the people while advocating for rights and justice with tracks like Your Pain, No Mining, Warning, and title track Heart of the World. Play Jah music by purchasing or streaming the Heart of the World album on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and all digital platforms. Heart of the World by Major Dawes, produced by Jah Music Enterprise and Therotype Studio.
Bless up ABR family and viewers, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Isabel Rose, and in this one, Senator Peter Bunting cries shame on this government after the court ruled that the state of emergencies imposed by this government from 2018 to 2023 has been unconstitutional. We also saw where a lot of persons were detained and held for as far as up to a year. And the opposition spokesman on health, Alfred Dawes, spoke in solidarity of the medical personnel and condemned the attack on the nurse via this businessman. Also, we've seen opposition leader Mark Golding speaking on corruption and letting us know what his government plans to do to eradicate corruption. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
Mr. President, the bill we're debating today is about encouraging investment and incentives for investment. My main point that I want to make here today is that the greatest incentive for investors and investment is a country that operates under the rule of law, and in particular a country where the highest law, the Constitution, is respected. There is a charter of rights in our constitutions that speaks to the rights of various groups of people who operate in Jamaica, including investors, but including every single man, woman, and child that lives here or even visits here. Much more important than this bill today is the judgment of the Constitutional Court that declares that the proclamations made by the Governor General between January 2018 and February 2023, by which he declared the states of emergency in various and specified communities in Jamaica, were not made for any purpose specified in Section 20 of the Constitution. That the proclamations made by the Governor General were not demonstrably justified in a free and democratic society and were therefore inconsistent with the Constitution and void. That the proclamations made by the Governor General on November 15th, December 6th, and December 28th, 2022, by which he declared states of emergency in various and specified communities in Jamaica, constituted a breach of the doctrine of separation of powers. I want to start by commending all those who have had the courage to bring legal challenges to those unconstitutional measures brought by that government. I want
those who condemn us.
I want to salute my colleague senators who were pilloried and abused in this chamber in the most vulgar and personal way by our colleagues on the other side. For doing what? For standing for the rights of the people and standing up for the Constitution of this country. You should all be ashamed here today. You should be ashamed here today. And if any of you have a little decency,
So hold on, I need to find what the president did say.
a little, any sense of graciousness, you should stand up and apologize to us today. Don't leave it any longer. Today, Senator Hill, when you get up to close, you should apologize. This judgment today has shown that no regime which wants to bully, which wishes to bully whether parliament or civil servants or the judiciary will get away with it.
And just to add, following the victory of Jamaica and democracy and justice, we even seen Constitutional Attorney John Clark urging Jamaicans who were detained under this state of emergency from that time span to seek legal advice following the court's declaration that the measures were unconstitutional.
I am lending my voice to the chorus of outraged Jamaicans who are condemning the vicious assault of a female nurse in a road rage incident. This brutal attack, caught on video, showed the nurse being violently knocked to the ground and stomped on while on her way to work. The attacker has notably since been taken into custody and charged by the police. This incident is really a chilling reminder of the lawlessness and growing disregard for human life that continues to erode public safety. This wasn't just an act of violence, it was an act of savagery. A nurse could have easily lost her life or ended up with permanent injuries. We cannot treat these incidents as just another headline. We must confront this culture of violence head on, especially when it affects our women and children. I am welcoming the swift response from the police in apprehending and charging the suspect. I also acknowledge the Firearm Licensing Authority, the FLA, for promptly launching an investigation into the reported use of a licensed firearm during the incident. The FLA's investigation is critical. Firearm holders must be held to the highest standard, and any abuse of that privilege must be met with serious consequences. I am expressing solidarity with the Jamaica Nurses Association and the entire healthcare community, many of whom have been calling for greater protection amid growing threats of violence both inside and outside the workplace. We stand with our nurses, we stand with our women. Healthcare workers should never, ever have to fear for their lives simply trying to get to work. This is not the Jamaica we want, and we must not become numb to these horrors. I am reaffirming my commitment to advocating for the safety, dignity, and welfare of all healthcare workers, and justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to be done.
This is Mark Golding. Here's what's on my mind this morning. The fact that corruption is draining our future, and the truth is, most Jamaicans feel it, because nearly 66% of us believe it's worse now than it was 5 years ago. I believe trust must be earned, not demanded. And as Prime Minister, I will make integrity the standard, not the exception. That's why in April 2023, I tabled the impeachment bill in Parliament, because no elected official should be above accountability. Sadly, the current government has failed to look at that legislation, even though it was one of Andrew Holness's 100-day promises for the 2016 JLP election campaign. Anyway, don't worry. When the PNP forms the next government, that bill will become law. I will also look at introducing a recall system so that delinquent elected leaders who betray the people's trust can be removed by the people without having to wait years till the next election happens. Accountability is essential to building trust and confidence. But this isn't just about politics. The corruption at the top is part of a bigger problem, the moral decay in our society. It's reflected in how we treat each other, the callousness, the lack of respect, the everyday cruelty we see and hear about, the indifference to others that we've come to accept. That's why I plan to launch a national effort, not a political one, for Jamaica's spiritual and moral upliftment. It will be led by civic and spiritual leaders who have credibility and heart, not politicians. But the next PNP government will support it and protect it, because rebuilding our values must be a national mission. True leadership means being accountable to the people, not just when it's convenient, but all the time. And when we raise the bar together, we rebuild trust. And that trust is the foundation for real progress and real change. Trust must be earned. And under my leadership, that process will begin. Time come, Jamaica.
And even with the recent findings from the Auditor General of some 11,000 bags of fertilizers, that there's no accountability there to say they were sent out to the farmers who they were intended to send out to. And so under this government, corruption is rife. Statistics have shown, the people have spoken, and the people are ready to go to the polls. The time has come for a change. And last but not least, a policeman was shot and killed at his home this morning in the Old Harbour area. The deceased has been identified as Corporal Main. He was assigned to the Kingston West Police Division. It's also said that his firearm was reportedly stolen. And so when we look at all of the, police shootings of over 120, persons of our society, now we see the criminals turning their guns on the law enforcement officers. And so when I tell you that nobody is safe at this moment in our country, it is very alarming. No one is safe. Our children are not safe. Our women are not safe. Our nurses are not safe. All other sectors across the board are not safe. And so I take the time to say, rest in peace to this police, and also condolences to the families and friends of this police officer. And I do hope that they will apprehend the perpetrators in this criminal act. ABR family and viewers, please to continue the discussion in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. On the road to 30k and beyond, please like and share it out. Get this video to at least 6,000 likes. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.